What's going on, guys? So today I'm going to bring you a new video, and this one is about well, it's going to be about my hallucinations when I was younger. It's not really hallucinations, but then it is. I'm not too sure. It's, I guess, I think it might, I've been told that it could have been my anxiety, attack or something like that. I'm not too sure, but I think it might have been my anxiety when it started kicking in when I was younger. But I'm just going to explain stories of when I used to hallucinate and have my mind play tricks on me, I guess. So yeah, let's just get into the video. Okay, so the hallucinations. I'm not crazy. Don't think I'm crazy. I'm not. It was quite common when I was younger, especially when I went to bed. I used to go to bed and I couldn't get to sleep most of the time because the walls started going like black and black circles, and like, you know when you get tingly feelings like dots. I'm not too sure how to explain it. But anyway, so when I used to lie in bed and I used to try and go to sleep, I used to get like the walls like closing in like that, and the floor and that going like that, and I used to think I'm in like this little box, and I used to scream, I used to shout, I used to cry, and my mum or my dad used to come running in and asking me what's wrong, and I'd just be lying in my bed crying my eyes out, going like, it's the walls, they're closing in, they're going blah 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 blah. They thought it was weird. They kind of got scared, I think, because it would be like nearly every night. They kind of just stayed with me for a couple of minutes, and then they'd be like, oh, come on, just go to sleep, and then I'll go to sleep and it'll be fine again. And then basically I'd go back to bed the next day again, and as time went on it kind of got worse. Like the walls still closed in that, and then they go back out, like it expanded, and then like I get like a bit of the floor coming up like that, and I used to think I'm gonna get squished, and there used to be other things that happened that I can't exactly explain. I don't know how to explain it. It was just weird and it was terrifying. Yeah, and I used to scream in that, and they used to come in, and then at one point I used to get where the walls were closing in that, but I'd close my eyes to try and forget about it. I used to close my eyes and I used to be like, I'm fine, let's go to sleep. I used to try and go to sleep, and I'd wake up, and I used to think, like, as the wall was coming like down like that, I used to think that there was something above there, like attached to the roof, that was black as well, and I used to think that like it's about to eat me, like I don't know, it was about to like eat all of my feelings, and that it was weird. Like, I don't know how to really describe like what it was, but you know when you see like horror movies and things like hanging on the roof and they're there and they're like waiting for you or something, it was kind of like that, but it was just black. Like, didn't really look like it, just looked like a figure, a darker figure on a roof, as I thought my roof was coming down, so obviously I thought the body was coming down as well, and that was horrible, and I screamed again, used to cry again, and the same thing happened, and then this time my parents went back to bed, but it was still there, like the walls and that had stopped, but I still thought there was things around my room, like it was weird. And then it stopped for a couple of weeks, and then it came back, and I thought that there were people in my room, black figures again, and then they'd disappear and the walls would start closing in again, and I used to think I was in a box. And I'm not claustrophobic. Like, I can be in a tight, small space and I just don't care. But for some reason, while I was in my bed, it was almost like, it was like a black box, and it was tiny, and it was closing in on me, and almost like I couldn't breathe, and you know, I was like panicking, and it was strange. I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, so that's what's happened. Obviously, after this has been going on for years, it stopped. I can't exactly remember exactly when it stopped, but it did. It stopped, and I was happy. I was over the moon. I was like, yes, like it stopped. I don't have it anymore. And till this day, nothing has happened. But when I think the second to last time I had tonsillitis, I was at my boarding school. And I was at school and I had tonsillitis. I used to get really bad tonsillitis. I used to get bacterial tonsillitis. I used to get normal tonsillitis, and then I got this weird tonsillitis, so it wasn't good. And it used to make me hallucinate. Well, it did make me hallucinate. I've only had it once, but like this type. So I went to bed. I had to lie down in my bed. I was the only one that was allowed in that room. So I was by myself, and everyone else were in their rooms. So I was in this room here, and then there's a room there. And as you go here, there's a toilet there, and then you go there, and there's rooms all up there. And I was in the end one over here. So I was going to bed, and I couldn't get to sleep. Like, there's something about it, I wouldn't let me go to sleep. I just couldn't. And then I thought, like, I don't know why, but I must have been asleep or something. I'm not too sure. I must have been sleepwalking. I'm really not entirely sure what happened till this day. I don't know what really happened. But I was lying in the bed, and I was feeling terrible. Like, I was sweating. I was ill. I was coughing, and then I stopped, and all of a sudden, like, it was already quiet because people had gone to sleep, but it was like really, really quiet. Like, it was super quiet. Like, there was nothing there. Like, I didn't know how to describe it. Like, at that moment, I just knew that something was weird and there was something going on. So it was super quiet, and I got like these pains in me, and so I started, like, saying in my room, like, hello, like, is anyone there, to see, if someone would reply, see if someone was awake in the other rooms, if they could hear me. I was like, hello, like, is someone there, hello, and it started echoing, like, my voice started echoing in the room, and that was really weird because it doesn't happen. So at this point I got really scared, and at this point I thought like I was alone, like something had happened and I was alone. So I walked outside of my room, and I was looking down, and there was a green light on. It was like the emergency light, and that was on, and no one was outside. There was no noises from any of the rooms, and everything was echoing, like the tiniest little sounds, like my footprints were echoing, and it was really weird. And so I started saying, hello, like, is someone there, I need help, am I the only one here? Like, I started saying that, and no one was coming out, no one was making a sound, nothing. So at this point I was like really panicking. I was like breathing heavily, and I was scared, and I didn't have a phone because they take your phones and that off you, because I was going to message my mum, so I couldn't do that. So I went back to bed, and I tried going to sleep again. I kind of just turned over and put a pillow over me, and I was breathing heavily, I was sweating even more, and then the walls started closing in again, and like a box, and it was echoing at the same time of it doing it, so it just made it 10 times worse for me, and I screamed. Like, to me, I didn't scream. Like, I was trying to scream, but I couldn't get my voice out. Like, I wouldn't scream. It wouldn't let me. And I was there. I was like, ah. I was trying to scream. It wouldn't let me. And all of a sudden, I woke up, and it was the morning. And I was sweating. I was like crying. I was everything. And then the teacher came in, asked me if I was alright. I was like, nah, I'm ill. Like, I feel terrible. I was hallucinating last night, and or something. And I had to go to sick bay and that, had to stay in there. But when I got better, I went back into school. After school, so when you were boarding, I was there, and I heard people saying, did you hear someone scream, the other night? And in my head I was like, wait, everyone heard me scream? I was like, in my head I was like, I thought I was just dreaming, or like, I couldn't scream, like how does that work? And no one came out either, so it's like, what? I don't know, I was so confused. I was like, what? And I was like, no, why? And they were like, oh, because someone was screaming at the other end of the corridor. And I was there, I was like, that was me. I was the one that was screaming, but it was like, when I was lying in bed, it was like, I couldn't scream out, I couldn't get my voice out. But to everyone else, it's like, I did. And everyone heard it. No one came and looked at the other end of the corridor. No one came to check if I was alright. No one came out the corridor because they got scared. They thought something had happened. But even the house parents didn't come. But if the other end of the corridor could hear, then the house parents can hear. But yeah, so that happened, and then as time went on, I said to some of my friends, I was like, you remember when you said that was a scream? They were like, yeah. I was like, that was me. I was like, they were like, what do you mean? I was like, well, when I had the tonsillitis, like, I couldn't get my voice out, but I was panicking and I screamed. Like, in my head, I was trying to scream, but I couldn't get it out. And they thought it was really scary. I mean, I thought it was scary. I got really scared. I was like, what's going on? Like, but yeah, so, yeah, I know it's scary, but that was when I had tonsillitis. But this is the last sort of thing I have to do with my mind tricks. Okay, so I don't get them now to this, like, at this very moment. I don't really get them, but, well, I do, but then I don't. Like, sometimes it'll be during the day, and I'll see like black bits, and I'll see things closing in and that, but I'll just look the other way, and I'll close my eyes and open them, and I'll be fine again. Or I'll look at the floor and I'll zone out, but the floor will be coming up, or it's going black, and that happens. I get scared, obviously, but it's not that bad. And sometimes when I go to bed, I have to make sure that I close my eyes for a good 5 minutes or so, and then try and get to sleep, because sometimes when I try and go to bed, like, if I look at a plug or something, sometimes I'll think it's like coming closer to me. I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like either it goes small or it goes big, and it starts coming towards me. Like, I really don't know how to describe it, but if I look at anything, it's almost like it's just like slowly black spots, so it's like moving, it's like expanding, it's getting small. Yeah, it's scary. I probably need to go see a doctor about it, but never really got round to it. I mean, I used to see somebody about other problems, but I never told them about that. But hopefully I might tell someone else nearer to the time now. But yeah, so that's my story on my mind tricks hallucinations. I hope you enjoy. I know this is kind of long and that, and it's probably boring listening to me just repeat myself, but it's something to say. It's a video. Obviously I'm still new at this, so I'm not going to be very good at doing this, so just bear with me. It might take me some time and that, but I'm getting there. So please like this video, comment down below if you've had these sort of things, or if you know what it is, can you tell me? Please subscribe and turn post notifications on so you know when my next video is out, and you get updated. Yeah, and I will see you in the next video, so peace.